What is up, everyone? Welcome to another trading recap. This one is going to be a great one today on Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. If you're not sure what I'm sitting in front of, this is a refrigerator because we had a nice and chill day in the market. We're going over mostly winners. There was one loser. And so in the spirit of transparency, I'm going to be sharing with you the ways that I observe the market today, so that you can set yourself up every single day for confidence and consistency and momentum day trading. So I was looking at BLBX because this had two bits of news. This is a upcoming merger, which is a catalyst. It secured up to $2 million in financing for that, plus an additional $250,000 on a purchasing agreement. For this big news, it had a market cap of 3 to 4 million. So that was very attractive. Plus, it has I believe it's a 1.8 million share float. So small float, lots of volume, great news. This is going to be one of the biggest watches that I had, and that you should too. So when I found this, it was at the top of the Webull top gainers. When I was checking pre-market, I could see it right there. So we're going to go ahead now and take a look at the trade that we had on it. And I was looking at this on different time frames. I saw that on the 15-minute, this looked pretty solid right here. There was a nice big engulfing candle for the breakout. And other than this big upper wick, I could see that there was some good support over here. So I gave myself a little bit of range on this. And yeah, about 5-6% that I wanted to set up my bids in, try to get an order in. And so I got filled at 323. I have another one at 320, but that one didn't fill. So I just had one order, and then I had another one at 315 and down at the bottom here, just around 309. So I was able to take a quick scalp on this one to 336. So I think it was like about a 3-4% play. And I'm right around there. Yeah, exactly. Just below 5%. Nice quick scalp to start the day. Now, I missed another trade setup on this because I was in two other plays that I had mentioned I was watching. But if you go and look at this on the 5-minute, we can see another demand zone area over here. So this is what I would have marked from bottom of this body down to this wick. Give ourselves a little bit of range from 260s up to 280. And we can see that there would have been a nice mover here. Bottomed at 277, made a nice move to this first initial area, 6% trade. And now I'm very much of hey, I like to trade P demand zone the first time. Hope for the bounce there, which I see typically has higher probability. But BLBX just had crazy volatility today. It actually came much lower, wick down all the way to 268. Made another move to 356, almost a $1 move, and then kept playing ping pong. And then we finally had a nice move up here to the 490s. So I would be checking this area, maybe looking on some different time frames. This could be another upcoming demand zone if you're taking a look at this. And if I can get this video out in time from 290s to 307. Really testing there. You could always play up to the EMA as well. Give yourself a little bit more room. And then using the laddering bid strategy to go ahead and ensure that you get the lowest possible entry with the most amount of average that you can on your shares possible. Now let's go ahead and take a look at another play. MDAI, this one had news in pre-market, and that was actually a note that I just deleted, but I wanted to clear it because the 5-minute demand zone on here was actually better than the 10-minute. And so I was looking at this one to come back down in market open, which it did. And I had a bid at 236, but it actually didn't hit. And I kept that open, and then I had some other bids down here. I think on the 10-minute, I had actually had a bit of a larger demand zone that I drew, like here to here, 228 to 237, and it just didn't work out. I stopped out below 227, and because it broke under, but it wasn't the right demand zone to pick. And this is really important because, you know, you could think, oh, well, maybe this was the demand zone here because we see these successive moves higher. And while that could work, there was really one on the 5 minute that worked much better, and that would have actually given me more visibility. And this is where, as much as I like to have confidence, the higher up in the time frame it goes, looking at this on the 5 minute would have likely produced better results because we can see that we have this nice uptrend forming here, and we also have all of these candles moving up here. It's much more clear cut in this way, looking at this 5 minute chart. We can also see we have this red candle here, this red candle, so there's more consolidation over here that's more favorable for us. So the range here that would have worked was 238 down to 230. That's, yeah, definitely like nice and tight range, 3%, right? So you could even risk a little bit more, say if it closes under 229. And entries could have started 238, 237, 6, 5. I'm tempted to say, do a countdown to zero. But anyways, we can see that this had a move down. It clipped 236, which I didn't get on my initial entry. And then it made a super fast move, almost 10%, right up to the 260 mark. Or I think it was, 259. So that would have been the play. And then because this demand zone was already tested, the stock moved below here and it didn't really clear it as well. So a bit of a confusing play as well, but something that on, really evaluating all these different time frames and being a proper technician would have revealed what the better trade setup was. And the reason I also took it was because it had, well, first off, it's an AI company. There was the big Stargate project that the US government is funding. It's like $400 billion over the next few years for AI data center development. And this is an AI company, plus they announced reporting of their revenue exceeding their market guidance. So that's why I took that. But it, is what it is. Win some, you lose some. And it was a very small loss. So did my risk management well. NEHC was the next one that I played. I saw this news in pre-market. When I woke up this morning, this was actually the top gainer. And so they not only came out with AI news, but this is specific to the Stargate project, where New Era Helium, the company, NEHC, and Sharon AI finally a newly created joint venture, Texas Critical Data Centers, to build net zero energy data center in the Permian Basin. So this is very, very current news, fits the theme. And so I was looking at this one. Yeah, this was the kind of area of the trade that I took. I actually played this one off of a 15-minute zone. And one of the lessons that I've continuously been learning myself is when I see two zones pretty close to each other that have still a pretty solid range, I like to go ahead and use both of those to kind of estimate my entries. And so I actually was playing this one from the top, but I had very, very small entries for my account size. This was a bit of a larger zone, 8.4%. And so I had entries. I was like, maybe it'll just clip fours and then bounce up. And it continued to come down. I had my next entry at 393, and I took another entry. I was looking for support over here, 387 I put it at, and then 383. And then I had entries down to 372, and then I would have stopped out below 369. And so I was able to accumulate a number of shares here because it bottomed at 380. And that was when it then made a really nice move up to this EMA at 415. I actually sold out a little bit sooner at 409, and I was able to capture almost a 30-cent profit on the play. So that was definitely one to watch in pre-market. Again, this one would not have worked out very well afterwards because the second bounce came out below that area. So certainly keep in mind that when you are trading, if your entries fill in the first bounce in the demand zone, just go ahead and take that trade. But I was able to get multiple entries here, worked out really nicely, was able to net more profit than the losses I had with the MDAI trade, and then BLBX also made it just a very, very solid morning. I also wanted to let y'all know that I have a group on Meta, the Consistent Profits community, where I'm sharing trade ideas, talking about the setups that I have been taking, even sometimes giving out trade ideas before they present themselves. Yesterday, I gave out USEG to the room. We captured a trade from 426 to 4.6, and I'm constantly talking about how you can identify setups and here to support y'all. So if this is the kind of group that you would like to become more familiar with, please go ahead and let me know so I can send you the invitation for it. And make sure to follow me on here, Trading in the Groove, as well as on Instagram, Trading in the Groove, where I'm posting a lot of fun and educational content. Hopefully you all were able to capture some good trades. Let me know in the comments down below what you were trading today. If you have any questions, if there's additional topics you'd like to see covered on this channel, definitely here to help y'all. And I hope you continue to be peaceful and profitable.